Welcome to the Transform Tomorrow Today podcast, a series dedicated to the complex and exciting world of change in organizations. We are your hosts, Linda McLaughlin and Catherine Tano, and are both global experts in organization development and change management, working across 5 continents. We help organizations navigate the challenges of transformation successfully, using our expertise as consultants and master coaches over many decades.
In this podcast series, we invite leaders who are at the forefront of transformation to share their own stories and reflect on the lessons learned with changemakers like you. Following each interview, we analyze the case and summarize the key messages and takeaways. Welcome to our community of inspiring changemakers, transforming tomorrow today.
Welcome, Katie Hasson, founder of Ignite at Standard Chartered Bank and a PCC Life and Executive Coach. Katie leads the Ignite team, a global network of 240 qualified executive coaches across 35 countries within the bank. These coaches hold diverse roles across the organization and volunteer their time to support colleagues in moments that matter. Katie is passionate about democratizing coaching in the organization and enhancing performance and potential of all its employees. Currently, she's based in Sydney. Welcome, Katie.
Hi, Linda. Hi, Catherine. Such a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Welcome, Katie. Standard Chartered is a leading global banking group with more than 85,000 employees, 150 years history in some of the world's most dynamic markets. It connects corporate, institutional, and affluent clients to a network that offers unique, sustainable growth across over 55 countries in Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. The Ignite program supports the bank's people strategy, offering a flagship coaching program, focused 45 minutes career coaching sessions, group coaching, leadership development for people managers. Katie, how would you describe your own coaching journey and how it led you to conceive Ignite and to propose it to the decision makers at the bank?
Well, my coaching journey began in 2018 with a transformative moment of clarity during a 4-day motivational seminar that I attended. I realized there and then I really wanted to pivot my career towards something more meaningful and purposeful. And that realization set me on a path to certifying myself as an ACC coach with the ICF, fully committing to become a coach and building a career centered around empowering others and assisting them to maximize their potential. So at the same time that I was starting to become a coach, the bank was actually prioritizing its diversity and inclusion goals, with a particular focus on increasing the representation of women in senior leadership roles. So recognizing this as an opportunity to make an impact, I joined a working group and decided to design a coaching program for these women. For me, it was really important that I didn't want this to be just a once-off coaching initiative with an external vendor and very expensive, great program, but will never be able to be sustained again. So I put together my thinking cap, and the concept was simple, but it was powerful. So what we did, we decided to harness the expertise of internal BAU employees who were already trained executive coaches to support the women to grow and transform within the organization. So this pilot really created a quid pro quo, a win-win for the organization to build a program to enable more senior women in leadership. It also was a win for our internal coaches, enhancing their professional development and an opportunity to hone their skills. And of course, the coachees in the program to maximize their own personal and professional development. So what I will say is, since the success of our first pilot, Ignite has expanded beyond gender diversity, addressing broader priorities such as Africa and China talent, employees with disabilities, high potential programs, and we're now at a point where we really want to experiment with our frontline sales. So in addition to our 4-month flagship program, we've also expanded our internal coaching products. And over the past few years, we've launched a 45-minute laser career coaching session, which is accessible to all of our employees. We've also launched a product in group coaching for all of our people leaders. And one incredible milestone this year was actually integrating coaching into all of our face-to-face leadership programs. So what I'll say is from the inception that Ignite was much more than a program. I believe it was really a cultural shift to the culture, and it was really redefining how we support and develop talent across the bank.
Interesting that you mentioned the impact of Ignite in terms of a cultural shift. So a key aspect of scaling coaching in organizations is growing the pool of internal coaches. So Katie, how did you go about that, and how do you support the coaches?
Yeah, for us, before we scale anything, it was really important for us to set solid foundation. And what we learned from this small pilot was just how much our internal coaches valued the like-minded community, the upskilling, the recognition and support. So we knew that actually setting this up was crucial to attract, retain, and scale our coaches going forward. So from day one, arguably, I would love to say that we established a world-class support system for our coaches with providing supervision, peer-to-peer, mentoring, drop-in sessions, and monthly upskilling sessions. And actually, we're really, really happy to report that we were recently validated this when Standard Chartered was named a runner-up for the 2024 ICF Impact Award for coaching in organizations. So that has been a proud moment for us and a testament to our strength of our coaching culture. But coming back to how we have scaled. So I think with the success of the pilot program, that really strengthened the business case for investing in coaching as a dedicated resource. And interesting from there, we launched a global communication for all of our employees. And overnight, we realized that we had over 50 ICF coaches all within our community. So once we had kind of really overnight, we had grown from a team of 9 to about 60 coaches. And once we had these coaches mobilized and we were running more and more Ignite cohorts, we were feeling the energy and the ROI that we created in the system. It led us to a business case to think about how can we further scale this. And actually, we got management support to sponsor 100 more coaches. And here, it was really important for us to attract the right people. So what we did is we opened this up to male and female senior colleagues to make sure they had a certain number of work experience and maturity behind them. There was also kind of a long application form to really find out the drivers for wanting to be a coach. And finally, and arguably most importantly, we made a decision to only cover 20% of the coach training costs. And we thought with all of these things combined, we ensured participants were genuinely committed to enhance their leadership capabilities and giving back to others. Even with all of these things, particularly only paying for 20%, them coaching and training in their own time, what can I say is we were completely oversubscribed for this initiative. And once again, it was another win-win for us as an organization. Leaders were improving their coaching capabilities and contributing to the organization's talent and development. So, as you mentioned earlier in your earlier piece, Ignite has now over 240 internal coaches across 30 countries. And we also continually grow and develop in multiple organic ways. So first of all, it's really interesting. 1 in 10 of our colleagues who have actually been coached then want to grow and give back and become a coach, which is really great. Interestingly, our senior leaders are really recognizing the impact of coaching skills. So instead of sponsoring colleagues to be coached, they're actually spending their money to build new coaching capability, which is extremely important. And lastly, as I mentioned earlier, coaching is now embedded in part of our leadership programs. So colleagues have been so inspired to commence their coaching journey from there that we're always getting organic growth. And I think this has been the scale, but a large component of my role within the organization is to really foster this community. And I'm really proud to say that actually last night we held our annual 2024 Coaching Awards. And this is a really cool way we stop and celebrate success and give prizes. And lastly, I would just say that Ignite started from grassroots. It wasn't originally an HR-led, really been a community that has been an incredible, diverse range of like-minded colleagues who have wanted to continue to grow and develop themselves and give back to our colleagues.
Wow, this is really amazing. And congratulations to have achieved that in those years. So what do you think about the role of Ignite in supporting change in the bank? We know that the banking is a very dynamic sector as regard change with AI, blockchain development, and so on and so forth. So how do you see the role of Ignite in this environment?
Yeah, absolutely. We've just embarked on one of the biggest transformations Standard Chartered has seen. It's a fit for growth initiative, and it's aimed at reshaping how we operate and adapt to emerging challenges. And like you mentioned, we are always continually faced with external advancements in AI, blockchain, regulation. So it's really always made us on our toes and really continually assessing and developing what are the skills of the future. I suppose to navigate this complexity, we've focused on equipping our colleagues with capabilities needed to thrive in an environment that we just mentioned: ambiguity, cross-border collaboration, hybrid working, and agility. So a couple of years ago, we launched a leadership agreement, which provides a clear framework for the skills and behaviors required to meet these challenges. Interestingly, many of these skills like curiosity, empathy, coaching the human and not the task, actually all align with coaching core principles. So for us at the bank, we have over 15,000 people leaders, and we see them as pivotal to driving transformation. They are often the first point of contact for any coaching conversation within the organization. And that's why coaching has been embedded in all of our face-to-face leadership programs. We've also introduced group coaching for people leaders. These initiatives provide a platform for leaders to reflect, collaborate, and leverage, most importantly, the collective intelligence to address complex challenges. So I think as our organization continues to evolve, we're also recognizing the importance of high-performing teams. So cross-border collaboration is critical to us achieving our business priorities, and systemic team coaching has emerged as a key opportunity for us to go after. Recently, we piloted a team coaching certification with 20 of our colleagues, and the results have been very promising. We feel that while individual coaching has been a cornerstone of our approach, and that's definitely where we're going to continue, we're now seeing that perhaps scaling team coaching to enhance collective performance and alignment across the bank is critical for us now. Finally, I just kind of want to mention that the ROI of coaching, it's continually reinforcing why we continue to do what we're doing. We're seeing that coaches are reporting an 8 to 20% on pre and post goals. We're seeing significant increases of promotion and role transitions of those who've been coached. And most importantly, engagement and retention for coaches and colleagues have been a massive component of this. And additionally, we've actually, by setting up Ignite, which is our internal team, we've saved over $1.5 million in costs compared to using external coaching providers. So we're really demonstrating both impact and efficiency there. So I think in summary, like most organizations, we're all evolving at a rapid pace. Coaching remains a cornerstone of how we empower our people to lead through change. By embodying coaching culture into leadership and team dynamics, we're really equipping our workforce to adapt, innovate, and thrive in an ever-changing landscape.
It's amazing what you've achieved, and it's wonderful how, Katie, your program and your initiatives are really, leading that change and embedding that change. So, in terms of coaching at Standard Chartered, what's next?
So, as we look ahead to 2025 and beyond, coaching will continue to play a pivotal role in how we enable transformation and growth at the bank. Our journey is evolving, and I suppose the kind of key three principles I would say we're focusing on is first, as I mentioned, systemic team coaching. So one of our major priorities is expanding our focus from individual coaching to systemic team coaching. We're recognizing that there is a need to build high-performing teams that align around collective goals and harnessing that collective intelligence. So by embodying team coaching into our approach, we aim to create a culture where collaboration becomes seamless, making it easy and more effective to do business while also fostering innovation. Secondly, it's really about implementing a more targeted coaching strategy. So to maximize our impact, we really plan to take a few steps back and take a more targeted strategic approach to where we offer our coaching offerings. So this involves leveraging insights from our employee surveys, leadership dashboards, our performance metrics to ensure our coaching initiatives are directly aligned with our bank's strategic priorities, including the fit for growth, transformation, and our focus on affluent clients. So I think by tailoring our programs to specific business needs, we can enhance the relevance, driving measurable outcomes, and ensuring coaching is a critical enabler of our overall strategy. And I think lastly, it's about ensuring that we continue to embed coaching into our culture. So our ultimate goal is to make coaching a fundamental part of the way we work at Standard Chartered. Coaching skills such as active listening, empathy, fostering growth should no longer be seen as optional, but should be seen as essential for every leader and colleague as we navigate the new world. So we're really committed to rewarding behaviors that align with our values and reinforcing a more human-centric leadership approach. And so by doing this, we aim to embed coaching into every layer of our organization, creating an environment where we can grow and develop. Development is constant, regardless of the role and level. So what I would say that in essence, coaching at Standard Chartered isn't just about personal development. It's about driving business outcomes, fostering connection, and empowering our people to navigate change with confidence. As all of our industry changes and as we look to the future, we're really seeing that coaching is the critical differentiator and a key enabler of our future success.
So very interesting, Katie, about how you're really wanting to align the coaching with the business goals to drive growth and sustainability. In an earlier conversation, you mentioned something about a strategic partnership with Ezra, the coaching platform. And how do you feel that will fit in with what you've said?
Absolutely. So Ezra is one of the biggest digital online coaching platforms. And Ezra has been a massive partner for Standard Chartered. So as I said, Ignite is a huge component of our coaching, our overall strategy. But for us, we also leverage off external partners such as Ezra. As I said, we have over 90,000 employees. So Ezra has actually, whilst we have focused on a lot of our diversity and inclusion, have been coaching the majority of our other colleagues. And what was interesting, in about a year and a half ago, we actually engaged Ezra and we've actually whitelisted the Ezra platform for all of our Ignite coaches, which means for the past year and a half, all of our Ignite cohorts have been powered through Ezra. So what's incredible about that is that now we're actually seeing like ROI, measurable dashboards from our internal coaches and our external. And the most surprising aspect of that is where I say is actually what we've actually found is our internal coaches are on par, if not above, perhaps with we have the knowledge of the organization. And what I think is a true testament to other organizations here is just the value and the power of internal coaching. So our partnership with Ezra has been absolutely amazing. As I said, we decided to partner with the experts. They're a complete coaching program. And what we've leveraged off them is they run our ICF world class. So now when we talk about supervision, peer-to-peer, all of this is powered through Ezra, our monthly development sessions, which are ICU accredited. So it's been an incredible journey and a true partnership. And it's been a pleasure to work with them over the past couple of years.
Katie, your story is really very inspiring. So I guess you will have a few advice for those who are listening to us. So what can you tell the other change makers following us?
The overall message, I believe, is coaching isn't the only solution. It's one of very many interventions. And I think, when we think about our people leaders, the biggest challenge with our people leaders is arguably they hold so many hats. Sometimes they're a sponsor. Sometimes they need to instruct. Sometimes they need to teach. Sometimes they need to coach. Sometimes they need to mentor. And what I would say that coaching isn't the only solution, but I think it's such an important enabler for coaching culture. And what I will also say that there is always a place for external coaching, but building an internal coaching culture for anyone listening to this within any other organization has been such a win-win from the organizational standpoint, being really a differentiator, retention, growth, development for our coaches. Once again, they're being part of something, giving back to something, and it's about our coaches maximizing. We've seen the ROI, we've seen the cost savings. And so my advice to anyone, if they really want to transform and revolutionize their organizational culture, coaching is a fundamental way that they could do that.
Thank you, Katie. Amazing conversation. Thank you for your generosity and inspirational activities. Thank you.
Catherine, another very, very inspiring story. And I think from the get-go, the thing that really pulled me into the Standard Chartered story was the fact that Katie initiated this herself. She wasn't a HR professional. She was working in the business. I believe at the time she was based in Singapore. But she had a personal empowerment moment and thought, I can bring this. I can help my organization by introducing this concept. Went ahead, trained herself to be a coach, and 5 years later has had this tremendous impact on her company and how coaching is part of the growth strategy and the change strategy now. I'm always so impressed by the power of a single person in initiating anything. I loved how she said this was a grassroots, a bottom-up initiative, and I think there's always space for that in any transformation in organizations.
Which is amazing is that she managed not only to do it, but also to link that with the business result, with the business stakes, and the coaching is now completely aligned with their business challenges and growth. And the other thing that is important of considering coaching as a systemic instrumental for business and driven by performance and people. Last but not least, I really found interesting what she said about the result and the data, the ROI of coaching, which is sometimes something we are looking for, having some proof of the impact in coaching programs. And what she said that results speak for themselves. So no doubt that is a success.
It seemed on the ROI issue that they were able to track progress with business goals and how it linked into the coaching. And then with the introduction of the Ezra platform into the organization, that was collecting real-time data in terms of the effectiveness of coaches, but also the impact on the business. So I think strengthening that metric piece was very, very strong in our story.
I think also the component of collective intelligence and the fact that they are developing team coaching as a tool to develop the collective part of the company and create a better alignment within teams, better leaderships, and also a true coaching culture, which is really something very, very interesting for a bank of this size. 85,000 people, being all aligned and connected with these coaching programs and collective intelligence. Truly amazing.
Amazing. And what was also kind of unusual was how they were scaling it and how they developed the pool of internal coaches. Because one approach, of course, as we well know, is to run internal coach training programs, which many companies do. But they chose to go a different path and allowed people who were interested and suitable to be coaches alongside their everyday roles to choose their own coaching program, and that they would pay for up to just 20% of the cost of the fee. And I think that built, were these people passionate about coaching? Would they be accountable for using their skills on completion of their training? And I think, again, that brought a very unique and different flavor to the Standard Charter story.
Absolutely. Thanks for listening to Transform Tomorrow Today with your host, me, Catherine Dano, and Linda McLachlan. Again, our gratitude to our amazing guests for so generously sharing their transformation story.
Please follow us on @transformtomorrowtoday.podcast and be sure to download our show notes and tips and strategies on our LinkedIn page @transform-tomorrow-today. Let's join together so we can transform tomorrow today.